Hi, this is Dr. Rebecca Wood, and I would like to welcome you to the first lecture of our English 335 class. This week we're going to be starting out by talking about knowledge, education, and humanity, and how in the world did we get here? How do we get where we are now? And how can we progress into the future and make the world a better place? And so in this class, we could theoretically talk about all the literature ever written in the entire history of the world. And unfortunately or fortunately, we will not be able to cover material of this tremendous scope in 8 weeks. So we're just going to think about some important themes, and we're going to kind of skim over the surface of what's out there in world literature and what we're still discovering. And so this term we're going to talk about the nature of knowledge and the process of education, religion and the conflict between good and evil, and then also logic and or beauty and how those can add to our lives. So as we begin our class, I wanted to mention some things about navigating the class in Blackboard. Please make sure you read the entire syllabus, read the course calendar, which lists our assignments and due dates for the term, and then each weekly module should have a weekly overview video and also a text overview. Also, please carefully read each week's agenda, which is based on the course calendar. Watch and read everything in the lectures and resources folder, and then check and double check each week's assignments folder because you want to make sure and turn everything in on time. And then each week there should be additional resources available that are optional for you to view. And if you have any questions, please post them on the discussion board or email me at rebecca.wood@slu.edu. And then what will we be doing in this class? We'll be doing weekly lectures, videos, and web links, open book quizzes on our reading material, an open book final exam, and that really does mean open book, open notes. So the only thing that you should not do is do the final exam as a group project. It's an individual assignment. And then we'll have lively discussions about our reading assignments each week on the discussion board. And we'll write 2 reflective journals this term, one near the beginning of the term and one near the end, to share our thoughts with each other. And then we'll also be writing 2 papers with some documented material from our textbook and other sources. So navigating our textbook, and this is a nice image from Amazon for a textbook, we want to make sure that we refer to the timeline at a point early in the class so that you can see kind of what all's happened in human history. It's kind of amazing. And then we have a pronunciation guide which can help us pronouncing some of our authors' names. And then we have information about reading literature and writing academic papers beginning on page 605, and there's an index on page 713 which can help us find our essays, poetry, passages, and author names. And so I have not included page numbers on our syllabus and schedule because sometimes somebody will get hold of an older version of our textbook, and this avoids confusion. So when we write our papers, we want to document information in MLA style, and that's detailed on the assignment sheet. And if you have been using another documentation style such as APA, you may find it's easier to switch to MLA than you might expect. And then where can you review detailed information about writing and documenting research material? It's our old friend the Purdue OWL. If you've never gone to the Purdue OWL, you won't know it, but they have changed everything. So it looks different, but it's the same information, and they've added things too. And then we can also use a handbook from a previous class, such as the Little Penguin Handbook. So this week's reading assignments include On Liberal and Vocational Studies by Seneca, the philosopher. He was also a politician and got on the wrong side of a couple of the major emperors of Rome, a couple with some very bad reputations. I won't go into details here, but there's plenty of interesting and also terrible things to learn about Caligula and Nero. and Seneca came into dangerous conflict with each of them. And then Seneca wrote that our whole universe is no more than a semblance of reality. So that's something to think about. Are we really perceiving the universe as it really is, or as we have been told, or is there a lot of stuff there that we can't even see because we're not looking for it? And then our next reading assignment was Knowledge is its own end. Look at that. There's a typo there. By John Henry Newman. And Newman was an Anglican minister and Oxford professor, and he converted to Roman Catholicism. And he gave up his prestigious teaching position at Oxford University and his career as a minister to begin anew in a different religion. Think about how much courage and conviction that must have taken. To lose everything and have to rebuild it. And so he went on to help found a new university in Dublin, Ireland. And so he also had strong convictions about the nature of knowledge and education. And when you read John Henry Newman, you might want to think about kind of skimming over it the first time and then reading it in more detail the second time that you read it. And also we have a living author this week, and you'll notice that a lot of times in a literature class you'll study people's writing and find that they've been dead for 1,000 years, but it's really wonderful to have a living author in our book for this week. And so we are going to discuss Education for Profit, Education for Democracy by Dr. Martha Nussbaum. And so she's writing about things that are affecting us today and our children and grandchildren. And so how should education work? How should it be paid for? And what should the focus be? And so should we focus on economic growth and making money, or should we focus on making people, or hopefully shaping people into better people and better human beings? And so this is again the same argument in a way that was made at the beginning of our reading assignments this week. And so now, what do you think? What does the word education mean to you? Does it mean something different to you now than it did when you were younger? Is it school, or is it something else? Do we teach ourselves, or do others teach us, or is it a combination? And what are the things that we all should know? I'll leave you on that question, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye-bye.